She was willing to come out and tell her story. So, Miss Noelle, would you please come up here?
This is awesome.
For sure.
Thank you guys for having me. This is like,
Thank you for
I
coming.
love this atmosphere, and I can feel the Holy Spirit in here, and it's just great.
Amen.
So let me first say that, like, it's a miracle for me to even be here talking to you guys. Like, I wasn't supposed to be here. And the message I'm trying to share with you guys is how the bondage of addiction was relieved from me. And let me first just kind of go through my story a little bit. I was raised in the church. I was kind of told what to believe, and I didn't truly understand God. I had a good childhood and everything. I started getting a little wild during high school, and I ended up suffering from addiction. And starting when I was 16, I was in a lot of domestic violence situations. I didn't have God in my life, and I became addicted to opiate pain medication. And that was when I was 16. And through that, I started really going through it, and I turned to prostitution. I turned to stripping, and I didn't have God in my life at all. And you know, when I look back on it and I talk to people, my mom said like she saw evil in my eyes, like the devil like really took over me, and I couldn't stop. And I tried everything. I tried everything but God. So I didn't understand. I went to treatment. I went to treatment. I ended up overdosing several times, and I was blue. They would find me. Doctors told my family to say goodbye to me. Then they had a medication called Narcan that was supposed to revive me, and it wasn't reviving me. And that happened about 3 times to where they told my family to say bye, and somehow I would get through it, which I believe that's God that pulled me through it. And so, but that wasn't able to stop me. Death wasn't scaring me. And I would overdose, and I would wake up, you know, and I would go right back. And it was just awful. Like, I can't even explain this to you guys. I had seizures. I would just wipe out on the floor. I would try to get clean by myself, and I would have seizures in front of my family. I was blue in the face. My cousins found me, but they were on parole. They didn't want to call the cops. They left me there to die. And this happened so many times. And not to mention all the situations that I put myself in, car accidents, being around the wrong people, just horrible situations. So what happened was I went to treatment, and I thought treatment would fix me. And I did 30-day treatment, and I would get sober, and I would do okay for a little bit, and then I would go right back. I tried that about 4 times, and I tried counseling. I tried everything. But what happened this last year for me, and this is why I'm here, is just to speak to you guys about this miracle that happened to me. I'm just so blessed, y'all. I'm blessed.
Come on. Take your time on it.
I went to treatment this last year, and I thought long-term treatment would get me right. So I went to treatment, and I got off of a synthetic heroin that I was on since I was 16. I'm 24 now, and I was addicted to this medication now, and I couldn't get off it. It was my crutch. So I went to treatment, and I got off of it, and I went through this withdrawal, and I was in bed for about 3 months, and I couldn't move. I could not move. I was sick, vomiting, everything, shaking. I couldn't eat. And I was just in treatment, just suffering. I didn't know what I was missing. And I started getting right again, and then I fell off again. I couldn't get past the 90-day mark. Couldn't get past it. And I didn't understand why. Like, I have this journal that I would write in, and while I was going through it. And I'm like, why am I getting high? I was trying to understand what is wrong with me. And I was looking at the wrong place. I was looking at why I was, but I wasn't looking for God. And what happened was, when I fell off again, before I went to treatment, these people came in my life. And they gave me free counseling. And I was out here overdosing, and they were like, Noelle, just wait. It's a waiting list for treatment. So they're like, just wait, just breathe, you'll get through it. So I met these people. The guy ends up working at the treatment center I'm in. And he's awesome, right? I get kicked out of treatment. I can't pass the 90-day mark. I have nowhere to go. I got one suitcase. I'm kicked out of treatment. I know I can't go back to mom and dad's because I'm going to do the same thing, and I want to be different, right? So this time I was willing, and God put this person in my life, and I heard he opened up a transitional living house for women, and was doing big things in the community. So I reached out, and I got in a car with this girl, and something told me, she had a bottle of alcohol, and something told me, just put that bottle down. And I called him, and he said, go to Benson Park with your one suitcase. I'm going to get you. We're going to get God, and we're going to get recovery. So I hop in this car, and man, from here it took off. Like, it just took off. He told me love heals. And he told me, right off the bat, he took me to this convention, and all 30 people came running up to me, and I started looking at AA. Well, the point of AA is to have a spiritual awakening, right? So when I get to this house, it's a grounding phase. You kind of just sit in the house and you get grounded spiritually. So I had this hole in my stomach. I had this void. And I've never felt like this, and I didn't know what I was missing. And people around me they're great, they're pouring God into me, but I'm not understanding it. But something in my head kept telling me, spirituality, spirituality, spirituality. I look at the AA steps, the whole point is spirituality. So, crazy things started happening, awesome things started happening, and I got grounded spiritually, and I asked God, please remove this bondage of addiction, of obsessiveness. And I would wake up and I would cry to him, and I would get on my knees. And I thought I was doing it wrong. Like, am I doing this right? How do I hear from God? And I sat there and I was willing, and I'm praying one night, and he tells me patience. I hear, my ears are ringing, I'm hearing, and I think I'm losing it. I'm like, what's going on right now? What's happening? Well, it's God. It's God. And all these awesome things started happening, like, I get a Bible, and I start reading the Word, and I get on my knees every night, and I thank him, and I pray to him. And every day when I wake up, I have to ask him to do his will and not mine. Because my purpose here now, since he's got me through this, is to help others that are suffering from this, because it's huge. It's huge. And so what ended up happening was they take me to this church, and I was raised Lutheran, and this church is very different than what I was used to, but I was open-minded to it,
Come on.
And so they tell me, they're calling people up for prayer, and I'm scared. I'm like, Well, what happened was I went to a ladies' brunch, and I went to get prayed on, and she said, have you ever been filled with the Holy Spirit? And I said, no. And they took me in the chapel, and I got on my knees. And I just prayed, and they prayed over me, and I was in there for an hour, and I was just giving it to God, and just asked him to continue to take this bondage from me, because I have harmed myself so much, and I couldn't stop. I can't do this on my own. I need you, God. I need you. And when I left the chapel that day, I was smiling, and I was saved. Like, I was saved. Like, I don't have to go through this alone, and I have God. And miraculous things started happening. I got back in school, which is crazy. I graduated intensive outpatient treatment, and I did that. And I'm speaking, and I'm chairing meetings, and I'm getting people together, and I'm helping the community. and all these things, but it's not me. It's not me. It's God, right? Because I'm not even supposed to be here, and I'm here. And one verse that really got me through. I remember I was laying there, and I was so desperate. And this is the verse. It was Psalm 13, 3-6. Look on me, O God, and answer. Give light to my eyes, or I will sleep in death. My enemy will say, I have overcome him, and my foes will rejoice when I fall. But I trust in your unfailing love. My heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord, for he has been good to me. And that stuck out to me because there was death in my eyes. There was death in my eyes. There was evil in my eyes. And I couldn't get through it on my own. And so what I'm doing now is I still pray every morning for him to relieve me of this bondage, because I don't ever want to go back. And I don't have to, because I have him on my team. And the thing is that fear, there's a lot of fear going on right now. And someone came up to me and they're like, you can't have fear and faith at the same time. You need to be all in with the faith or all in with the fear. So I trust to go with the faith and not the fear.
Come on.
And then, they say that in AA and everything, they say that you have to do the faith, but you have to do it with rigorous action. You have to maintain it. You have to be thrown in it. The thing is every day, right, how am I getting closer to God? Because that's the goal. That's the end goal. How am I getting closer to God? So every night, I ask myself, was I kind and loving to all? What could I have done better? What was I thinking of myself most of the time? What could I do for others? And did I get closer to God? And I review the day. Did I harm anyone? Was I being selfish? Everything is God's will, and I pray to him just to take me out of myself. And the infliction of pain, bondage of addiction, he saved me, he freed me from bondage of obsessiveness. And now things are going, y'all. The community is suffering. They're suffering right now. And I'm praying to God, what do I do? Well, here's the thing. When I'm asked to do something, I never say no. I'm asked to come up and speak. I'm asked to help someone. I go. I do it. Because I know God's planted all these people in my life. Even the girls that are with me right now, they saw me at my dark time. And we got right with God. And it's great to have spiritual friends that are there and that understand and have been through the same thing. And, I have a lot of friends that I care about that are still suffering from this. And I ask them, when are you going to be willing? Because the willingness to turn it over to God, I am powerless. I am powerless over anything without God.
Right.
I'm powerless. And I need him. I need him. So every day, how am I getting closer to God? And how am I helping the community? I'm praying to God, asking him, lead me in the right direction. And he's throwing all these people in my life that are meant to be here, and that big things are happening. And, reaching out to the community. And it's just, I've been through so much. And if I can help the next person not go through this and understand that God's here, because I didn't understand that. And he was there the whole time. And I didn't understand. All I had to do was reach out. All I had to do was talk to him. And now I do that. And I just really wanted to share with you guys how this miracle, it's a miracle. Every day I'm sober is a miracle, because I could not do it. And he did it for me. He did that. And that's what I was sharing with you guys.
And Noelle, how long have you been sober now?
I've been sober 5 months.
Amen.